This question is given in GATE 1998 about that two-dimensional array and the address. So they are giving like this: A is an array which is having indices from 1 to 10, which means 10 rows and 15 columns. So the size of A is 10 rows and 15 columns, and they have clearly mentioned like this. So you can please read the question. What I did is I have just summarized the question. So they are saying that A is an array which is which is having indices from 1 to 10 and 1 to 15. So what does it mean? It means that there are 10 rows and 15 columns, and they are saying that row major order is used. So when row major order is used, we are going to save it row by row, right? And now base address is given as 100. Then the address of the element Aij is. So you know that whenever I have to go to an element in row major order, I have to cross some number of rows, and then once I reach the particular row, I have to cross some number of elements. Now how to solve it is, okay, so if you don't remember what we did just now, in the exam you just take a small example, right, 3 by 3, and you will understand it. 1 2 3, and let us say 1 2 3, and since they are talking about indices are taken as 1 1, right, then you can understand it. So it is 1 1, it is 1 2, it is 1 3, right, and it is 2 1, it is 2 2, it is 2 3, 3 1, 3 2, 3 3. In order to reach 3 2, how many rows I should cross? The number of rows I should be crossing is 2, which means I minus 1 rows. And after reaching particular row, how many elements I should cross? 1 elements, which means j minus 1. So now you understood that we have to cross I minus 1 rows and then j minus 1 elements in order to reach a particular element. Got it? So see, and in case if it is 0, if it is starting with 0 0, then again you write like this, and you will understand that you need not cross I minus 1, you have to cross I rows, and you need not cross j minus 1 elements, you have to cross j rows, right? And in case sometimes they say that the rows are starting with 0 and columns are starting with 1, again you write this, then you try, and then you can understand how many rows should be crossed and how many columns should be crossed. Don't by heart any formulas, I am really against it, okay? Coming to this, A of ij, in order to go access the element A of ij, so how many rows I should be crossing if the indices are starting with 1? The number of rows I should cross is I minus 1 rows. And what is the number of elements in each row? That depends on the number of columns. And how many columns are there? 15 columns. Therefore 15 elements I have to cross in each row, and number of rows are I minus 1. Plus how many elements I should cross in the given column? Rows is I minus 1, fine, and once I reach the particular row, how many elements I should cross? J minus 1. Got it? So this is the total number of elements I should cross, and the base is 100. Fine. And they didn't give you anything about the size inverse, which means I think they are given the size is, assume that each element is going to take one unit of the memory. 1 unit means 1 address, therefore 1 word. So you have to multiply with 1. You please read the question there, you will understand it, okay? Then what is the answer? 15 into I, since it is row major order, plus plus j, right, minus 15 minus 1, which means minus 16 plus 100. So this is going to be 15 into I plus j plus 84. So where is it? Yes, this is the answer. Got it? In case if they would have given column major order, can you answer it? Instead of row major order, in case let us say they have given it as column major order, then what should happen? In order to reach any element, we have to cross those many columns, right? So how many columns I should cross? 2 minus 1. 1 column I should cross in order to reach this, right? Therefore 2 minus 1, which is nothing but j minus 1 columns I should cross, right? So in case of column major order, Aij is going to be how many elements, how many columns I should cross? J minus 1 columns I should cross, okay? So after crossing j minus 1 columns, so in order to cross each column, how many elements should be there? Row number of elements. And how many rows are there? 10 rows, right? So into 10, these many elements I should cross in order to cross these many columns, right? Plus I have to cross the number of rows, right? I mean number of elements in that column. And how many number of elements are there in this column? I elements. Therefore these are the total number of elements I have to cross in order to reach this particular element, and size of each one is 1. oh, I minus 1, right? So I minus 1 plus 100. So how much is this? It is 10 into j minus 10 plus I minus 1 plus 100, right? So how much is it going to be? 10j plus I minus 11 plus 89, right? So in case of column major order, this is the answer, 10j plus I plus 89. So anyway, they have asked only row major order and A is the answer. In case if they are asked about column major order, this would have been the answer, right?